Hi everyone, my name is Otman Wali and today I'm going to be taking you through my project for emergent technology, proof of concept. As you can see here, the project is a UI interface design that I wanted to implement in Unreal Engine 5 to kind of bridge the gap between designing in Figma and then implementation in Engine. So I created a simple user flow here that I wanted to follow. After that, what I did is basically started ideating a little bit and getting inspiration from popular games, created a mood board as you can see here, and started playing around with what can be done. Next, I created this high fidelity screen of the main menu that I wanted to create. The next step was starting the implementation. I've used a basic third-person template from Unreal Engine, which has basic movement for a third-person character. This is the mood board that I got inspiration from. From there, I wanted to implement basically a health bar and an XP bar and a HUD that will showcase player information while in gameplay. And then created a simple menu with like a few buttons to add interactions to the gameplay. And then went to sort of the polish phase where I started like playing around a little bit with the design, trying to add more elements like player level and all of that. This is another iteration where I started adding some textures and some background images to the buttons for hover effects and similar things. This is sort of what I ended up with in the middle of the project, which is the intro, and then you get like a few interaction and hover effects, and then the gameplay starts with the HUD and you have the health and XP at the top. After the polish, I had a little bit more components in the HUD, which is the level player. I decided to go with just a number. We have a few components that help us showcase some interactivity, which is a damage component and an XP component, and some UI elements at the bottom that explains the gameplay inputs for the player to show what they can interact with and how they can move throughout the level. As you can see, there's a pickup as well, which now we're close but not close enough, so it gives you an indication that that pickup is interactable. When you go close to it, it shows you the button that you can click to interact with it. And this is a health pickup, which is like a variation of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and show you a little bit of the gameplay. So first we have the main menu here. You can interact with the mouse. If a button is not functional, it gives you a little sound indicating that it's not possible. And then you can switch to a gamepad, as you can see here, and then it will take over instead of the mouse. We'll do that again, and as you can see, automatically switches to the keyboard, and now we're gonna switch to the gamepad because it's more comfortable. So we'll play the game, and what it does is a transition. I created a loading animation here just with a throbber. We are here in the main level. What we can do is, like, as you can see now, we have the indication of that pickup. If we move too far, it doesn't show. Close enough, it shows. Close, we can interact with it and pick it up. Another thing, we can damage the player and the health bar goes down. We can add to the player's XP, and then the level becomes 2. We'll do it again. And now we're level 3. Now, if we want to pick up this one, again, you can't see it if you're not close enough. It gives you indication, and now you can interact with it. And it will add to our health. As you can see, the health went back to full now. We can open up the menu by the D-pad app. You can continue or go back to the main menu. If we continue, it just continues the gameplay. If we go back to the main menu, it will transition again, do the loading. The loading is just a delay. Usually the game is really fast. And then we go back to the main menu. We can start a new game, and what it will do is then it will load our new game, and here we are again. After that, what I have is a death sort of screen. When the player dies, you have the screen pop up. This is all staged through Common UI, and you can either restart the game or go back to the main menu or quit. So let's restart. And what this will do is basically load again and put you back at the beginning of the level, and you can play the game again, interact with everything and all of that. We have the damage, and we have the XP pickup. We're level 2 now. And again, what we can do is go back to the main menu. Another thing we can do is basically quit the game. And as you can see here, it's a very basic level, just a few elements, components here with the camera pointing at them, and then I overlay the actual UI on top of it. I have a few widgets here that I can show you, basically creating them through Common UI. They have a few animations here, basically a slider, and you can slide the components here. This is the HUD, which is a permanent in the gameplay mode, the player menu, the death screen, and the third person component. The logic is spread throughout like a few files and blueprints, like a blueprint interface, but mainly we have here what's the main kind of input of all the widgets. So when we start the gameplay, I'm using the event begin play to create the first widget, which is the HUD. This is when the gameplay level starts. We add it to the viewport, set up the game mode input, and I have a couple of dispatchers here that are basically listening and updating the health and the XP when we interact with other things. But that's mainly it. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go through all of the mechanics and how they have been implemented, but this is the gist of it. Thank you for listening.